Well, hello and welcome to the 12 Days of Copilot. I think we're on day 8, and today we are in for a treat. We are going to do stocking stuffers from our team of their best Copilot tips and tricks. So in a moment, you are going to see a leader from our learning and development team and how they used Copilot to create rubrics. You're going to see a developer's use case, and they are coding with Copilot to break down like large Excel files into manageable files sizes. And if you're not a developer, you're just going to have to watch and see the magic unfold. And you're also going to meet a partner relations manager creating an image for a third party use case. So I'm looking forward to getting started. Before we do, just want to remind you and thank you for tuning in today. For everyone that's joining these events, which is a lot of people we're super excited about. We are donating $5 per person to Feeding America. So we have raised over $3,000. Today is the last day for Feeding America. Next week, we're going to kick off a brand new charity, and we're just really excited and honored that we can be doing that. So thank you for being part of this with us. As a reminder, I'm Tracy Ottenstrayer. I'm the lead consultant for Copilot M365, and I also dabble with D365 Dynamics. One thing I didn't mention last time, I am Copilot obsessed, and I've been working on Copilot since the first February 2023 when Bing Chat came out with Copilot. I was so excited. That was my Christmas present for the day, I think. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to advance the slide here. We're going to show a video of these first 3, and then I'll come back on at the end with a couple more tips. So let's hit it.
Hi everyone, my name is Morgan Radens. I'm the Senior Learning and Development Specialist here at Stoneridge Software, and today I'm excited to share a Copilot learning about creating rubrics for training. We have a presentation skills 4-session cohorted learning experience that we've conducted for a few years, and I put together a rubric for this to help assess at the beginning, before team members have completed learning, and then at the end of the learning experience. And so what I've done here is I've asked Copilot to use those PowerPoints that I've put together, those learning objectives that already exist, the description of the course, and to give me a rubric that I can use to assess team members against those learning objectives. Copilot gives me a rubric over here outlining the criteria and what I'm looking for based on those learning objectives and the content in the PowerPoint. This is a good start. I want it in a table format though, so I asked Copilot to put it in a table. And here it's giving me the criteria. That's what I want included. It's giving me the column headers though of a first presentation and final presentation. Those are the 2 points in which I'll be assessing team members, but I don't want the rubric to include those time points. I want the rubric to include the competency level that team members are showing. So I ask it to adjust that instead of first and final presentation, include a does not meet, meets, and exceeds expectations column. And so it creates that really beautifully. One of my favorite benefits of using Copilot for creating rubrics is that it can really quickly include language that articulates what it means to not meet, to meet, and exceed. So for example, our content and structure criteria here says not meet would be lacking clear purpose, their ideas are disorganized in a presentation. Meeting expectations, that means there's a clear introduction and a logical flow of those main objectives. To exceed expectations with content and structure, that would mean the presentation is highly structured with strong transitions and insightful content with clear takeaways. So I love that Copilot gives me a really solid start based on what I've already created. I'll review each of these against the learning objectives. I've added points in here so I can not only assess someone with where they're, which square they're landing in there, with which criteria, but then I'll calculate their points out of a total of 25 as well. I'll put this in a Word doc, and then I can create a separate Word doc for each team member at both the beginning and end of the learning cohort so that they are getting feedback that's really meaningful for them, and that it's really fast and easy for me to give that valuable feedback. So this is one of my favorite uses for Copilot. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening. Bye.
So today we're going to write some code using Copilot that will take a very large file and split it into many chunks just using the C# programming language and a console application. So I'll start by sharing my screen here, and we'll just fire up our handy dandy Copilot and we'll say, create a console application using C# that will read, open, and use all the files inside a particular directory. We want to use the Open XML SDK and program helper design pattern, where the program calls the helper for all functions. Okay. So let's see what it gets. Here's the complete C# console application and a program helper design pattern. This program will prompt for a directory path, read all the files, call a helper class, and add go to cell A1 in each file. Okay. So how do we use this? So you just saw a quick example of how to use Excel to open up all the files. If you try prompting for different things in this method, you can get it to do everything you want without using Excel.
I'm Sue Whitney, Partner Relations Manager on our Leverage team. I asked Copilot to design a thumbnail to use in our YouTube videos. I asked that the design include a logo, the Watch Now button, and space for a video title, and have it look clean and professional. I really like the design, so I asked Copilot to create it as a downloadable element, and Copilot delivered. I uploaded into the Canva, added the actual Leverage logo, changed some of the branding elements. It was a great time saver, and I love the way that it came out. Thanks, Copilot.
That's great, Sue. Thanks. I want to point out one more thing. When you're chatting with Copilot now and you want to create an image, before we had to go to this create bar. Now, if you click Tools, Designer, you have the ability to describe the visual you want and have that full power of the create and the designer process built right into this chat experience. It's a quick way to get really impactful images. Give it a try. Well, wow, our team has so many fun things that they're doing with Copilot. It doesn't even do justice what we have time for. In a few minutes here, I just want to show you a couple other things. So you've seen a few other ideas. This one, I've got my screen up here, and our team member and our senior instructor of instructional design, Cassidy Fields, I should say. She has this cool thing that we have going on at Stoneridge. We call it Prompt Ember, and she gives us these ideas for prompts that we should try. This month, we have this really fun one. So tell me something hidden about me that you've recognized that I have not fully leveraged yet. Show me evidence from my work that led to this insight, and give me 3 actions I can take in the next 14 days to strengthen or better use this capability. I'm afraid to hit enter, but I'm going to, just so y'all can see how it works. And you'll see this is just like a fun prompt that you'll be able to use to get to know what you're doing and maybe what some of your strengths are. So it looks like it's thinking through its reasoning. And again, some of the tips are just like finding really good prompts that work for you and seeing what happens and then sharing those across the team with other people. I do love that idea. So, okay, we don't have to talk about what my strengths are and what the things are I've got to work on, but you can see it works, and I love that. The other tip that I want to just provide real quick is if I had to provide a stocking stuffer TL, I would say that the agents that I've been building are my stocking stuffers. So I encourage you all to go into the Copilot chat app where I am here. You can do that through a web browser or through the app itself. Make sure it's the one that has the M365 bar across the top, and create your own agents. So I've got a whole handful of them here. Most of them I've created from the Microsoft template one, and then I customize it. We actually have a video recorded out there. You can watch me doing that. And it's just a fun way. So for example, researcher and analyst are two that I haven't touched, but I've got this client connection to the world that's giving us better ideas about how our clients are doing and things that I might want to know about clients. So that's a very helpful one that I created. Client success team updates. I've got one that helps me understand based on the industry and the job type, what kind of agents might be helpful for people. Solution architects agents to help our solution architects here at Stoneridge learn how to best create agents for people. And it just goes on and on. So your job, you think of how they'll work, but when you go to new agent here, you're going to be able to capitalize on that effort and describe what you want to build, start from a template, and see what you can do. So that's my stocking stuffer to y'all. Don't be afraid of agents. Start them in the Copilot chat app. And I want to thank the team that contributed ideas. Really appreciate those, and I hope that they resonated with you as well.